Hello and welcome to another Monday on BMBBH. This is Kev, and yeah, tonight, here's what inspired this topic right here. Um, how we carry ourselves in this social media streets these days, especially on YouTube. Yeah, I wanted to discuss the Willie Lynch letter. The topic title tonight is Sweet Willie is Still Pimping Y'all. The Willie Lynch letter. Now, the Willie Lynch letter in recent years has been up for debate because because of the extremely colorful language that is used and what the letter implies. People want to, especially a lot of us, like, let's speak in the realm of black people because that's why a lot of us are here. So let's have that understanding. Most people want to deny, most of us want to deny the existence now because we want to get rid of the slave narratives, the times in our history where we seem the most vulnerable and the most dominated. But for what was stated in the letter itself, it does seem to have some validity based on the behaviors that you can match it up with it. And not and also here's one thing that I do get tired of as far as the Willie Lynch letter is used as a dig. I mean, especially against black men. Whenever you don't agree with the quote unquote pro blackity black group collective thing, then people will throw up Willie Lynch like they're such experts on our history. Yet we're the people who now want slave narratives to be erased. Um, and also the importance of keeping critical race theory around based on things like this. Because there has to be a way to explain why we behave so egregiously toward each other. I mean, and I'm not saying it's just factors that Willie Lynch supposedly outlined. Um, there has to be some self accountability as well. We willingly do this to each other. So let's find out some of the reason why. Let's talk about some of the reason why. And before we get into that, do have 10 watching at the moment and 9 likes. Yeah, pretty good ratio. But on your way in, please hit that like button. If it's your first time here, go below this screen and hit the subscribe button. I'm here every Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I do drop edited videos as well. You won't regret it. And also look at what's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Long live the habitual line steppers. Remember that, and it's very important. Fair use is in place as always. The Cash App is also down there. And this is going to be very harsh, colorful language because I'm not going to read the entire letter. I'll put a link in the chat. Well, not well, mods. If you could find Willie Lynch letter, good PDFs, you can drop the links in the chat tonight. But I'll drop a good link in the description, so you can have some reading material for yourself. But like I've said about this particular subject matter, it's been up for debate in recent years because, like I said, because of black people's subjugation in slavery, something that a lot of us have a tendency to be ashamed of. We want to deny the existence of things like this. Yet and still, we behave in such an erroneous way toward each other. And a lot of what's said in this letter can be applied to how we carry ourselves in these social media streets, as well as our everyday lives. And I'll explain that a little bit. But what I'll do is I'll focus on page 1 and 2 of this letter because it gets pretty it gets pretty bad. It gets very, very N-wordy. That N-word that we don't want, whites to use, yet we use it on each other so much. But this is the word with the hard R, because you have to understand, when things like that are written, what time period they were in. So let me do this screen share, and okay, let me give you some shout outs in the chat. Hurry up and buy. What's going on? Viscount Lavelle. Stoic One. What's going on? Stoic One has been here for a long time. Long Tongue Son. The Southeast Dusty. What's going on? Antoine Johnson. We all adults. Good contact. I'm sure we can take it. Yes, he said not a PDF, but okay. I mean, it's cool. Just drop whatever links you think are good. Like, see, when we behave like this, we just got to start discussing things like this, and remind ourselves why we're here. Since some of y'all want to get snippy and all act like that there's not a reason, and I speak up for the bros. There's not a reason why you aren't so adamantly against your male counterparts. And one thing that we do have a tendency to forget is this affects black man, black woman, and black child. So I do believe that the brothers have a general understanding that is not about just us, but a lot of the females, well, some of them think it's about them, and as usual, not all. So I'll go ahead and start reading. I'll react as I read. That's how I do. You can look at the screen yourself and read along with me, and you'll know what parts I'm reacting to anyway. If you are if you are a connoisseur of the English language. But it says the Willie Lynch Letter, the making of a slave. Starts off like this. This speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name. Now, like I said, that's debatable because people are debating whether this is real or not. Sounds a lot like it though. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't alive back then. But he says, "Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves." Basically saying that, it's not only are you going to get the most economic production out of your slaves. This is the understanding. And not only are you going to get the most economic production out of your slaves, you will have them loyal to you. And, and it's like, I don't know. I guess it's like when you see in the media, like these really staunch, I hate to use politics as an example, these really staunch conservatives that just every time they hear something about something black, they're just the first ones to jump up and be like, oh my God, why are we being victims? But every racist piece of shit just gets to do what they want to do. But let me continue. Says, your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still oldest methods for control of slaves. Like, look, peep the language here. Experimented. We were no more than like we were property, so we were subject to experimentation. Very disgusting. And this particular manuscript on each one of his pages, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It continues. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. Um, as our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish. Yeah, King James was every fucking thing under the sun, a rapist, a molester. He was a very brutal king. Yet, some of our mothers and our grandmothers go to church with that man's name on their Bible every Sunday, and it's just. I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome uses cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions. I caught a whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. Yeah, I do feel some kind of way when I start thinking times like this. And I do understand why some of our people do not want to dive into, you know, having to remember how we were. But my thing is, it's always going to be important that we are able to reflect on our history and just so we can learn from it. I got 14 likes, 17 watching. Please hit that like on the way in. Okay, and he continues. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. So, okay, 1712, 300 years, 2012. That was 8 years ago. Mm. I'll just continue reading. I mean, you can be the judge. Most of you have your own brain, which is awesome. Said, my method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. Peep this, I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Uh, Said these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. South, very interesting. I have a couple of interesting things to share about my experiences growing up in the South and dealing with our people all together. Anyway, let's continue. And this asshole is, I mean, Willie Lynch, whoever he is, if he did exist, this asshole is so fucking basic. But not everybody sees things the way I see it. So on top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. See what the fuck I mean? The second is color or shade. Oh, that's an interesting one. Color or shade. Even though we're all black, he's already acknowledged that we are different shades of black. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, Attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Hmm, that is all interesting things. And you can pretty much stick it on a lot of, intelligence. Let me go ahead and start like taking little digs at some of you out there with flippant little mouths. Um, Intelligence. Yeah, I guess that's why the street, quote unquote, street nigga always attacks the quote unquote educated lame. And then you got the most educated with the females, who in turn makes a lot of them turn their noses up to a lot of the brothers. Yeah. Size. Oh, yeah. Size. Yeah, it does make a difference whether you're tall, you're short, you're skinny, you're fat. It's just what it is. But yeah, that can be in turn used as well. Sex, well, of course, male, female. This psychological and spiritual gender war that we are going through right now. Sizes of plantations, statuses on plantations. Oh, we always use the what, whether we're big shit or not, what our status is amongst others. Is let's see, the attitude. Oh, attitude is a big word. Attitude of owners. Okay, we nobody owns us anymore, so it's just you can drop the of owners, and then you could just use attitude. Where the slaves live in the valley on a hill, it's like I don't know, school rivalries, city rivalries. You ain't fucking with Detroit, no nigga. You ain't fucking with Chicago. Oh, them niggas on the South ain't got nothing on us, and then they come down to the South. Man, I ain't going down to the South. Them niggas crazy. Like, yeah, all of that shit. This neighborhood, this street, we go to this church. My religion's better than your religion. Oh, look at this one. Oh, let's read further. Have fine hair, coarse hair. Or hair weave or natural hair, or just doing it the way how to ever in the fuck you want to do it, as long as it looks good, because you can't, god forbid you talk about any hair that's bad, but you know we that's probably not the context I should have used, but um from what I can see, it's that there is, and I talked about this last week. There's some kind of European standard of beauty when it comes to the way some of the sisters wear her hair. So, because that little hairism or whatever, that really starts with the sisters. For real. I mean, you have no business listening to other races about how you should keep your hair. That's your fault. That's not the brother's fault. Or is tall or short. Mm, really height with the sisters. A lot of like I'm a guy that I could I could mess with a sister taller than me. That's just me. I'm not intimidated by stuff like that. But you know it really that's why it really doesn't resonate with me how tall or short a sister is. But with brothers, mm, yeah, that's a battle that we got to fight. I mean, I'm above average, so I'm good. And that's not trying to take a dig at anyone shorter. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. Especially in our community, we do make these separations, whether this letter actually exists or not. And now he's saying, now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that, and look, this is where it gets gritty. And they put it in all caps just so everybody could read it, and put special emphasis. It says, distrust is stronger than trust, and envy stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. This is why you always got to encourage the good in people, because as fucked up as it sounds, we might be inherently bad. giving in to what's easier. And what's easier ain't always good. And one thing that I would say the biggest killer of us doing business with each other, and I'm talking about black men because for some reason I see black women doing a better job with this, being able to work together. Uh, there's no trust. We don't trust each other like that, especially when it involves money. And it's like I've seen so many examples in my life where business relationships have melted down because of money. Somebody trying to be a cool hand look behind his partner's back, and then shit just melts down. And it's a damn shame because we as a group of men, we need to work together. That's very pertinent. But anyway, okay, and it goes on to state, I'm on the second paragraph of what's on the screen. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, yeah, we use that word quite often, indoctrination shall carry on and will become self refueling and self generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, at first he said 300, then he jumped up to hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. See, we just had a little problem with that. Guy got killed escorting this young man away from his 14-year-old daughter's bedroom. Yeah, and that's very reflected in this space as well. And when I talk about this space, I'm talking about the space local to the black manosphere. There's a lot of young people pointing the finger at the older males, and the older males trying to tell the younger males, man, brother, you need to straighten up. And it's just it gets ugly sometimes, and it's like fuck you nigga language. Oh, it's your fault, things like this. Yeah, I haven't heard from a young man is we let things fall because we started marrying single mothers. I was like, wow, that was it. That was the problem. So let me see. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark skinned slaves versus the light skinned slaves, and the light skinned slaves versus the dark skinned slaves. Hmm. Yeah, I know I've used light skinned memes in the past. I know I have, but it was never that serious. I would hear I mean, they used to have videos like this on World Star Hip Hop and sprawled across social media randomly. That I would see families of women sitting around making kids fight, or making the dark skinned girl jump on the light skinned girl. Now, I can't prove the existence of this, but I'm telling you, I know what I saw. It was hideous, and it's like this. As long as you can sit up there and can get the female to continue to behave like this and impact the children, because there's a big part about how the mother should treat the children in this. I don't know about showing it because I think that's a part that drops like so many n bombs. But like I said, we're a pretty strong crowd here, pretty strong, colorful language. So. Um, and this last line in the second paragraph, wow. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. Wow. So I'm going to read through this. I'm going to read through the second paragraph again. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. And shit, and in 2021, and please prove me wrong on this one. Every fucking thing we do in these spaces, as of as of whenever, is been self refueling and self generating, and all of this reflects the old black male versus the young black male, and vice versa. The dark skinned slave, well, we're not slaves anymore. The dark skinned black person versus the light skinned black person, and vice versa. The female versus the male, and vice versa. We do all of that shit. We don't even need this letter for that. If slavery was still in existence today, would it be an effective system? Because these things have happened. Let's just say, thank God, slavery doesn't exist today. All right. Now, this is for those of you who be, you know, use a little buck dancing to your method and think these white people actually love you out here. Just let me read this first paragraph. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. Let me read that again. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. See, they'll use you as a snitch. They'll use you all day as a snitch, but to put their trust and all their confidence in you, that ain't gonna ever happen. Believe that. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. See, this is the parts where it starts to get a little heavy. Yes, because this is the part where it starts to get inside your soul a little bit. Because many of us will forgive them very, very quickly. We'll forgive them very, very quickly. We so hard pressed to forgive each other. Let me read that again. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Now, let me go ahead and give you another disclaimer, because we go with the knee jerk reaction. We go with we go with how we feel, how it's making us feel. The lingo is of that time. So I'm not calling black people slaves or anything. But they're talking about black slaves. There are theories of where we descended from, actually. And this is just to once again get away from the fact that many of us had slave ancestors that were subjugated and humiliated. It's a tough thing to deal with. So let me continue. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen. See if there's anything interesting down below, because like I said, it does get pretty bad. Yeah. This is when it starts to get pretty bad. But just what I read and alone, just it just wow. Now let's start asking ourselves some questions. Now, for those of you watching, and thank you for watching. I have 21 likes, 21 watching right now. Pretty good ratio. But if you haven't, please press that like. Because it talks about black slaves. Say you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. Now, how many black males? Okay, I'm about to say my age, 44 years old. How many young black males are going to listen to me and say, this man talking about this bullshit right here? Fuck, I want to hear this for. Willingly. I mean, just like it's second nature. Like it does not even take any any inkling of an effort to, uh, receive what I'm trying to say in that manner. I don't want to hear about no goddamn Willie Lynch. It's cool. I mean, it's cool with me. I'll tell anybody. I'll tell anybody. I'll tell people who's 60, you ain't got to listen to me. It's all good. It's all good. But hey, you know what? If we are going to continue to have this attitude toward each other, then we need reminders, constant reminders of why we are here. Dark skin versus light skin. See that all the time. You even have a who is referred to as a colorist crybaby that has a very large following that is female. And female versus the male. The quote unquote hypersensitive sexual frustration gender war that is, believe it or not, at an all-time fucking high for the dumbest of fucking reasons. It's not that they're winning, it's just that they're trying to be fucking annoying. It is what it is. It's gotten to the point of stupidity, and we feed it ourselves. This is why a lot of people don't want to blame WS anymore. Because, like at the beginning of this paragraph right here, it's become self-refueling and self-generating. It's made a lot of us resentful of each other. Resentful to the point where it's like, oh, fuck this place, I'll go do my own goddamn thing. And then the whole of us, the collective, is wondering why so many motherfuckers don't care. Could it be possible that some disgusting bastard of a white person, white male, standing on the bank of the James River, who was named for a malicious king that had the Bible translated into a Shakespearean lingo, could it be that he had an actual plan that worked? Let me tell y'all something. They have no problem using the media to keep your ass under control with all of their foolish narratives. So there is a huge possibility that this actually could be true. So many of the behaviors outlined in the letter itself do apply to the climate that we have today, the social climate. I could say social media. We're on social media right now if you're tuning in. Some of us just want to see us do better at the cost of our own sanity at times. That's why a lot of people think that it isn't worth it. But there is two big things that can counteract this that we could work on. And one of them ain't love. You know, everybody's like, love solve everything. Wow, let's throw some rose petals up. Love, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about trust. And I forgot the other one. Oh, God, I had it on tip of my I hate when that shit happens. God damn. Shoot. But trust is one of them. I mean, none of us, like, as black men for real, will work together. This is, I mean, the habitual line steppers, so far so good. I don't distrust the others. I don't. Not me. But I'm a grown up. They're grown ups. They can speak for themselves. But from the people that I observe them to be, I'm willing to put my trust in them. So that should state the obvious right there. I'm the kind of person is that I'm affected by a lot of these mind fucks that we were given as a people. Once you lose my trust, it's intensely hard to gain it back. The difference between me and a lot though is like I just don't give my trust to another group like that because I have the disposition of believing that their group is always going to be in it for themselves. The fact of the matter is, in a lot of instances with our people, when I say our people, I'm talking about black, melanated, African American, whatever label you want to accept. I don't care too much for people of color. The fact of the matter is, when you can't trust our people, then you have this feeling of nowhere to go. I mean, we have these little beefs in the space, these differences of opinion that might lead to a feudal aspect of series of broadcast and videos and such. We have that, but it's no good if it's working to a detriment. In my eyes, if I were a betting man, I would say Willie Lynch actually existed. I would have to say that is a huge, huge possibility. Because I mean, I'm sorry, we see these behaviors. These behaviors are that he outlines, and I mean, it gets real ugly. It gets real, real ugly because it's like it gets into excuse my language use of the N word. It gets into nigger this and nigger that, and it's just wow. Like I said, this is why we always like to hop up and act like this kind of thing shouldn't exist, and we should get rid of critical race theory. And oh, we were victims. It's that I don't want to get rid of any of these narratives, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because it pacifies the other side. It happened. It happened. Is what it is. I don't want to do anything that is going to pacify the other side for them to pretend like it did not exist, like they didn't do all that damn vile shit. Yeah, this Willie Lynch letter gets much deeper. I might actually do a part two. Once I start doing little stuff like members only, I'm really still just trying to build this channel. You know, just like you guys being here, that's member enough right now. Yeah, but like I said, the more and more, and this is going to be for future tense, the more and more I see all this dumbass dissension from whatever faction on YouTube, except the habitual line steppers, of course, because when have we ever promoted division among blacks? You may have a few females that hadn't liked what we had to say, but fuck them. Is they can go to those little spaces where they whine and cry about black men all day. Same thing with these simps. I'll talk about a simp all day. That's a disgraceful thing for a black man to be. Yeah, I'm very smug about stuff like that. Outside of that, I'm not trying to encourage division among our people. I want us to come together. It's always the guys that want to see things come together that y'all niggas fight the most. And I'm saying nigga with the A. I done said this plenty of times on social media, and I'm saying it here. A lot of you out there, a lot of you content creators, y'all some Willie Lynch ass niggas. And you should be ashamed of yourselves Because these are the motherfuckers that try to promote like they love black people and black first and all this bullshit, but they do exactly what this fucking letter says. Some of you motherfuckers are still slaves. It ain't the guy that wants everyone to get together. As much as a lot of these slaves would like for it to be. Willie Lynch. How could some like? And I don't have any respect for slave masters. I don't. If I could pick a group of people to humiliate throughout history, it would be slave masters. I don't care about the fuckers. I don't. But how can somebody that is so dumb be so smart? Unless you got a group of people that fall for simple shit. This is some simple ass shit. That's just my opinion. I'm the kind of guy that's like, well, you can clearly see what he's trying to do. I also have to take into account the time. Imagine being raised as a baby, from a baby, in subjugation. Your mentality would be a lot different. So yeah, there's so many ways to look at this. One thing that I discuss with older people is the fact that we are not that forgiving of each other. We're not very quick to forgive. You have to go through the ringer, up, down, round the corner, around the goddamn world, just to forgive a black person. A white person that gives you a sincere, kind face, they get it instantly. One old man told me, and people use old as an insult, but it is what it is. Pretty much after 60 years old, old. Looking forward to it. God willing, I make it. Sales divide and conquer. This is basically what Willie Lynch is, divide and conquer. When I was working at jobs when I was younger. And see, this is and I don't mean for anyone to take this the wrong way, but hey, fuck it. This would be my problem with the hood dude. The proclaim hood dude. The street nigga. The THUG. Tupac got it thug like tattooed across the front of his body. Them guys that be trying to so-called rep that. I used to work at like jobs with these guys when I was younger. And let me tell you something. They be the first to fold to the white man. The first ones. The one they be calling the Carlton nigga, the one they be calling the lame, never. Now, there would be a couple of bootlickers every now and again. But them archetypes were blended. It wasn't the guy that y'all always said, the Alfonso Rivera. It wasn't always that guy. And see, that's what them fuckers want you to believe. No, a lot of them guys were, they were these quote unquote hood guys. And I don't have a problem with the hood. I don't have a problem with hood guys. It's these loudmouth ass Negroes that I have a problem with. They always be the first one to fold to a white. I mean, the most racist archetype white man. Could be a short, fat redneck. Dude be 6'2", 6'3". Well, got veins coming out of his biceps, fold when they see the little short redneck fucker coming around. And then get mad at people like me because I'm able to say complete sentences. Acting like the short redneck fucker loves me. Like, this is the mentality. Man, you think you special, don't you? I'm like, damn, I got a compliment. What's wrong with that? First one, first person you would hear say some things like, "Oh, he said I did good today." No, this is not an exaggeration. Not an exaggeration at all. First one's the foe. Love to try to shit on somebody's blackness just because they didn't grow up hanging out on the street corner. First one to fold. Oh, don't get promoted or anything around these guys. Then you got a whole new set of problems. You got dudes snitching on you to white folks for nothing. Man, he decided to take a break for about 2 minutes and sit down. The hell is that? It's like, dude, it's 2 minutes. Go right to the white, like sweaty out, like sweaty all black and shit. Like, hey, yo, what up, dog? What up, dog? Man, we had us some hoes and some malt liquor last night. Oh God, I'm using purposefully racist stereotypes. I'm sorry for being a black person trying to explain all the bullshit to all of you. But it's like this. The reason why I said this is because I've encountered this even in today's climate on social media. Hood dude love to call somebody lame. You lame. You lame. For what? What are you calling me lame for? But remember this about these guys. First ones to buck dance. Trust me on that. Trust and believe that. And like I said, it ain't like you ain't got them kind of, them Candace Owen types. I understand that. Them Herschel Walker types. You got them. But Willie Lynch always doesn't always apply to that archetype. You get it quicker from the prison type. And I say that with a very smug expression. Go to the. All right. Let's go to the chat. Antoine Johnson, the Willie Lynch censor, is also akin to communism and how they divide and conquer, aka Black Lives Matter. J Nero 226, Cynical Optimist. What's going on? Indigenous TV. Them dudes talk mad shit, but got that white homie letting them say nigga and shit. Oh man, I done seen that a couple times. Hood dudes, hard ass hood dudes. Nah, they hate the black dude that can say the complete sentence. But as soon as they little white homie come around, big old t-shirt, hat turned to the side, yo, yo, yo. Little cream colored girl might have let him touch the pussy. He down. He can say N-word all he want. They'll treat that dude like a brother. Say Antoine Johnson, LOL. We know that some stereotypes fit some of us, but we all know that most people don't like it because they don't want you to change if you have that problem. Indigenous TV. And these are cats that let a biracial dude, Colin Kaepernick, lead the pro-black movement. Yeah, about that. It does seem like in our media as of late that they always choose like the well, like I said, this might be a fix of Willie Lynch. They always choose the lighter skin types and make them the black people. I would say one most recent example would be your vice president, who, by the way, I hear is doing a bang up job. And that's sarcasm. Um, yeah. So yeah, let me go over this chat a little bit more. See if I see anything that might be worth addressing. Shakandulu, I see you down there. Oh, Donnie, what's going on? Long live the habitual line steppers. Hmm. Antoine Johnson, yep, colorism. Well, we are victims of whites. What is the letter about? The letter is about basically breaking slaves and getting as much economic production out of slaves through fear, distrust, and envy, as the letter says. Using us against us so they can get the most out of us. And it seems like a lot of these mental fixes are still in today. So yeah, Sweet Willie is still pimping some of us. Sweet Willie ain't pimping me though. All right, let me drop this link. Cause I mean, like I said, I do understand. A lot of us don't like to hear commentary such as this. Kareem, yeah, that was. I don't think that the vice president is black. I don't think she is. Yeah, because she was South Asian. As soon as she won, she became South Asian and started, doing all the. I don't know, but from what I hear, the kind of job she's doing is the morale is very low in her office. Very low. She's not very attentive of her employees at all, or cab or office staff, cabinet members, or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, the topic for tonight is Sweet Willie still pimping y'all the Willie Lynch letter. Um, yeah, yeah, they are. Sweet Willie been pimping y'all since Sweet Willie was in office. Bill Clinton. Yeah, people are quitting on her ass. Yeah, man, but shoot, y'all, they were screaming to the top of the rooftops that she was a black woman. So hey, yeah, like I don't know. I saw that as that there's every year my child, she's young, but so I can't really say every year like that. I'll say the past 2 or 3 years she'll shout to the top of her lungs about presents and how she gonna get presents on Christmas, and then a couple days after Christmas, present be on the floor, and then it's just regular toy. And I remind her of that because I'm her father. Now, this is how I felt about Kamala Harris becoming vice president. It's like everybody thought they were getting something really huge for Christmas. And then, like, once they unwrapped it and played with it for a little while, they were like, eh, that's it. Just like that toy that ends up on the floor a day after they are so excited about getting it indigenous. Kamala Harris is black like I'm Korean, and I'm as dark as Wesley Snipes and porch chestnuts. Yeah, yeah, man. But now, let me see. we talk about problems, but the complaint is, I would say, we don't talk about the solution. What kind of solution can you offer up against, I don't know, hundreds of years of indoctrination? When you really see what can result from what can result from you telling anyone any kind of truth, any kind of uncomfortable truth, I would say. That's why you have a lot of people sticking would rather stick to what they believe rather than the actual truth. Now, if there are people who deny the existence of the Willie Lynch letter and deny the existence of anything that is reflected upon that letter, then, that's okay. That's fine. But argue with me on how a lot of this isn't being applied by our people. Well, I mean, and I get it. We don't like to look like fools in front of other groups. We don't like to look, but I don't care about other groups. I care about how we look to us. But y'all having a conversation down there about Kamala or Kamala as they call her. Say Antoine Johnson. Oh, she a claim if she ever goes to the island, just like most of these politicians, they're fake because she showed claim blackness on the Breakfast Club. And then she took a picture of her walking in Tim's using hot sauce and saying Wakanda forever. Like, I don't get why we did not feel like or believe that our intelligence was being insulted once that happened. We just took it because a lot of it was TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. A lot of us a lot of us hated Donald Trump so badly we were willing to let anything slide on the Democratic. Well, not anything, we didn't let Bernie slide, but uh, we were willing. We were so convinced that Biden and Harris was our best chance, and ultimately, I guess they were. They did win. You know, everybody said the mail-in ballots did it, despite the fact that there was all of this early voting. The business TV. Willie Brown said she slept with anything with a pulse and power behind their name in California on her way through the ranks. He tried to tell us she couldn't be trusted. And yeah, she ended up with a zaddy. She slept with everything on her way to the top and then ended up with a zaddy, which sounds very typical. Biden didn't win. They're about to recall them votes in Arizona and other swing states as well. I've been hearing that, but I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? They sure went through a lot of trouble to get all those mail-in ballots counted. I'm just saying. I mean, it's a possibility. It's just weird that it's just weird that the expedience in counting all the ballots just was not there. Okay. That's facts. J Nero 226. That's facts. That is facts. What we need to do is work on our own political fortification, but a lot of us don't believe in that. We just believe in Democrat and Republican. Kareem, y'all just leave that alone. Biden is president now. We're not gonna have another election. It is what it is. Yeah. Uh. I get. Yeah. Is. I mean. I'm gonna put to y'all like this: anybody that has been elected president, I've always called him president. I mean, I didn't care if they were Democrat or Republican. They were the president. They were elected. They were elected by the people. It is the most recognizable position in the country. I mean, he's obviously not an absolute authority, but if he president, he president. I've said that about Bush. I've said that about Clinton. I've said it about Reagan. Even though I was a very young kid when Reagan was president, shoot, I've said it about Obama. I said it about Trump. Even though we were all supposed, like, and then this is what I don't like, and this is what I don't like about people that black people in particular that say that we're supposed to be on code about disliking Donald Trump. These motherfuckers will dislike another black person in a second. Like motherfuckers, like they hate Trump because he racist, but then that motherfucker will always want to shit on another black person. That shit's stupid. Like how you like that's exactly the kind of shit I be talking about. How in the hell you gonna hate a white person for being racist, but you automatically hate other black people? Oh, because that's not racist when you hate black folks. It's like I get it, but I mean, if I receive hate from a racist that results in something bad happening to me, or I receive hate from a black person and it results in something bad happening to me, what is the difference at the end of the day? Am I supposed to be madder at the racist? And there's a slight bias there with me. I mean, shit, I'm from Alabama. Y'all, a lot of y'all love to shit on Alabama, and I be seeing that. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not the type person that is gonna let racism slide from another group of people, especially white people. No, that's not me. Some of y'all that swear y'all love black, shit, y'all let it slide. Y'all will let it slide before me any day. See what I'm looking like here. I got 31 likes, 20 people watching. If one of those likes isn't yours, go ahead and press that like. Do your boy a favor. Press that like. Also, the Cash App is active. Hmm. Cash App is active. Kareem, Biden is racist too. You ain't got to tell me twice. See, that's what we talking about. That we talking about. Like the part in the letter that says that there was like to the white overseers and masters to like never trust any of the blacks, but the blacks got to be trusting of you. Make sure they trust you and you only. Yeah, that you kind of see that within the whole Biden thing. Just like don't and a lot of people say, well, they did that with Trump too. They sing that too. They sing the two song every time that there's there's a problem with the accountability of it all. Like when people say white people do it too. Yeah, Democrats would be like, they love to say something like, well, why you ain't talking about how Trump was? Why you ain't talking about how Trump was? And then I will remind people, Trump was getting roasted for 4 years. Hybrid Impact 83. If you didn't vote for Biden, you're not black. Yeah, that was the biggest shocker right there. They forgave Joe Biden for saying that. It was like, man, I'm not gonna have my intelligence insulted or being shamed into voting for someone. Like I'm finna lose my skin pigment because I'm having a hard time deciding. I didn't have any difficulty deciding who I'm gonna vote for. That's why I wrote Bernie Sanders in the damn write-in slot. Yeah, Karine, I ain't like the fact they played that my racist is better than your racist game. My racist is better than your racist. The racist is a racist. The fuck? Yeah. Let me stop speaking poorly of the Democrats before RBR Network shares my video with a vicious paragraph at the beginning. Oh. Should check out some things. Yeah. Man, it was hot today. Saying y'all, I wonder was it as hot as it was for me in y'all neck of the woods. It was hot. God damn. Wow. When I see stuff like this. Yeah, I mean I'm looking at my feed. When I see stuff like that, it's and I don't know. I'm not gonna mention the content creators. It always seems like that the bad guys are winning. And that's some Willie Lynch shit too. How can you get off free and clear shitting on an entire group of men? For real, it's like wow. And I'm not playing victim here. How? 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 Is the biggest is the biggest phenomenon I've seen on social media right now, and plenty of people will not acknowledge it. They will not acknowledge it. We acknowledge when we say stuff about the sisters. That's the basis for a lot of people in this space. But it seems to me, and I don't. Oh boy, it's just big business, man. It's big business. It's God. I mean, I'll get gaslighted and I get told to ignore it, but it's just uh, it's so discouraging. There's so many to know that there's so many shitty people out there. I don't know. Maybe they're not shitting. Maybe they're not shitty or whatever. Maybe I'm the shitty one. And there I am gaslighting myself. But fuck all that. It's what it is. Is what it is. Antoine Johnson, black emoji, good show. Thanks for the super chat. By the way, thanks for the super chat. Yeah, but I tell you what though, I'm not giving up on this. I can't. It's not. It's not. It's not. Giving up is not in my blood. Yeah, I mean, we gonna get the message one way or another, sooner or later. This whole slander thing, this whole, I guess, Willie Lynch thing is, it has to be done away with. It's counterproductive. And try to prove to me that it doesn't apply. Just try to. Kareem, will you guys do a review of Dune? Was that the TV show? Yeah, I'll talk to the guys about it. You know, we'll do it on the entertainment channel. Yeah. Well, if nobody's gonna come up, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap this up in a little bit. Mm, yeah. Just take time to tell you guys, you know, how appreciative I am of all of you, and hopefully that in the future that this message becomes, more potent and louder and clearer, and just understand that we're we're not here, and I can't speak for all black men. I'll just speak for myself at the moment, that not here to, cause division or to cause malicious harm to whatever, what to whatever unity that we can have as a people. It's just that I needed to talk about this tonight because this is what I'm seeing from our people, and it just sucks that we are so accepting of our own demise, and we just need to do better. So, oh shit, Kareem's up here. What's going on? What's going on, Kareem?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was on mute. Hello, good night. I just wanted to say I've read that letter before. Um, it's very disturbing, like you said. But it just shows you how evil and um, mon- not just nasty. Some white people, at least, well, of course, white supremacists are now, but back then they were just brutal. And, our ancestors really went through it. And I mean, and now you see the people like we are actually just exhibiting the behavior north, like New Yorkers versus Southerners, or immigrants versus Americans, and you know what I mean, light skin, dark skin, man, woman, that we just like are so fractured. And I wish we would just, you know, just like come together and just like, I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, yo, you can't come together with some people because some people just are compromised. But I every other group try to work out their issues. We should try to our best to do that, and be a strong force. And I just like, I get so mad when I see us fighting. I get it. We're passionate people. We're gonna have our opinions, and but I just wish that we were more together. It's disturbing. I mean, I don't. Some people said it's not a real. That Willie Lynch thing is not real, but it's been out in our consciousness for years, and and I feel like we're just like living it. We're just doing it. We're behaving exactly how he described in the letter.
Bothers me when it seems like they have that much power.
Yeah, I feel, and we're so. I think not to, I guess, be well. Yeah, I feel like Black people are good. We're honest and good people. We're chosen. We have strength, and we're good people, and we have to go through this. I feel like we know how we are to each other. Why we just can't just like wake up and like just get out of this like defeatist mentality and just like to work together and just. I I just get so upset, like with this race war you keep talking about. I'm like, yo, why people keep saying this? It's like I don't see it in my daily life. I'm not fighting with nobody. I mean, I'm cool with men and whatever. Like would typical be the baby mama people that I'll talk about in this space. But I don't have no issues. I'm not bashing my child's father. I'm not fighting and going crazy like some of these people I see online, doing this foolishness. I'm like, yo, we need to like just grow up and try to, because we're gonna be the permanent underclass if we continue this with this behavior. We gotta come together and just build, like support Black businesses. Like now, I actually been doing that for the past couple of years. Like I purposely do, well, more than a couple of years. If it's a Black business, even though some of them be acting, Some of them be on the they don't do the, some of them be like, oh, okay, you wouldn't support your brother and sister. But some of these black businesses, boy. But I try to support black businesses. I try to like uplift us, you know what I mean? But it's hard sometimes. I'm gonna keep it real. We can't be all kumbaya. But we should try. The point is try. And I think a lot of people don't try, you know?
We don't, and we don't care either. Too
And
much, too much apathy.
I, how
And I
can we
hate
make people care? How can we make people
you can't
care?
make anybody care. You can't make anyone care. You have to be some magical person that has this has a special gift of the gift of influence, and it's too bad that a lot of us do use our gift of influence for evil purposes rather than for good purposes.
Don't you think? Okay, so when people are saying that they're doing this, the SBYM, the divestors, these all these people. So they were having a conversation in this space about how the black race, the community, is gonna look in the future. We're gonna be like erased. Like we're not gonna be black people won't look like us because we can't get that shit together. We're not gonna have like it's gonna be. I mean, are we okay with that? Are you okay with people like not having your? We're not gonna in the next two generations. There probably will be like 3% black people. Are we okay with that?
I'm not okay with it, but I mean, there's only so much I can do about it. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I mean, I can shout black this all day, all night, but it just seems to me that people are more attracted to the things that are tearing us apart, and that's a really bitter pill to swallow. It really is,
It's so
and
sad. It's so
it,
sad.
it's something that psychologically that we have to learn how to deal with. Period. And it's like Shaka Nulu said, apathy isn't always a bad thing. If you're apathetic to that, it might be beneficial and it might help you live longer because the stress that it causes when you really begin to think about it. You know,
I
know what I'm
get
saying? But it's like don't want to always be like negative poo poo every time you come up to this platform. Is got to give the people something to enjoy. Also, I mean, even though the situation is bleak.
You're funny, so that's why I tune in all the time because you're funny. You do it in a funny way. I mean, so it's not really always negative. It's just like I'm just thinking about it, and I'm saying like if we don't get our act together, like I don't know, it's just like we're gonna look very different in the next couple generations. It's gonna not like I somebody was saying on the NBA, I think it was Mace, and he was saying that when you look at the NBA now, it's like the NBA don't look like the NBA used to look. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yes, that's true. It's like all you see is these biracial men in the NBA now. Like, what's going on with that? It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I have to be a little bit optimistic and hope that the next generation, which based on the numbers is not looking good, but maybe they'll turn around and you know, and get it together. Maybe they'll get it together because our generation, we done.
We're done, and it's willful.
Well, I'm all I can do is teach my daughter to be. Um, oh God, I feel so bad for my child. You know, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. The Shaka Nulu. There's black people all over the world.
That's true, but
Ask the question why black men that are ultra successful dating out.
I don't know. I mean,
We
they
have to we
options.
have
They
to
have
ask
more
them.
options. They have more options. When you have money, you have options. Like I mean, it makes kind of more sense when you think about it. If you have like, if I had money and I was rich and I was in all these spaces, I would be whatever. You know what I mean? So I can't say anything. Um, negative about them. They have options. They're exercising their options.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I've never. I'm not against anyone dating out. I mean, I'm against the hypocrisy. I'll say that. You know. I mean, I know I've said things about swirlers, but that's all in fun.
But
But
the thing about this, I think what happens with people is they always concentrate on the white people. Like there's, I mean, I know there's that other races don't really date black women like that, but or whatever. But I see other races here where I live more than I do white. To be honest with you, so I don't get it. I see other, like it's always white people, white and the black. Why is there's other races that people that black people date? You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, but
yeah, yeah.
anyway, I just wanted to come up and say that letter was disturbing, and thank God we're not in that situation anymore. But I mean, physically we're not, but mentally we kind of are because we're like just so divided, and it's like maybe it's the epigenetic thing, like they always talk about, that we're genetically predisposed to behave like this. I don't know.
Uh, I will tell you what I believe. I believe everything is a matter of choice, and any programming that is detrimental to us, we can very well break it. But I think it's just an easier thing for people to, I mean, we go with what's easiest, and it's a damn shame. It is easy bullshit for the long term, or difficult problem solving for the short term. Like I rather do difficult and get rid of it completely rather than to just let it linger because it's easy. But shout out to new Shaka Nulu for the Cash App. I appreciate that support, bruh.
One last question before I get off your panel.
What's going
So,
on?
what have you seen the new He Man show on Netflix?
Oh, oh, the new
Okay.
He Man is the new He Man is causing a buzz. Is like everybody's like, it's a children's cartoon. I mean, I can speak from a guy who I collected the action figures with the mini comics. That's how deep I am in that. I mean, before the animated series, and is like they made the, like, a lot of people have a problem with them making the female the central character. It's not that they made the female the central character, because they could have very well gotten around that. It was the fact that they make them so fucking stupid and narcissistic is the problem. Like, you
Yeah,
spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't watched it. The central protagonist dies in the first episode, saving the universe.
right. I
And
mean, I like I'm okay. I grew up watching the cartoon. I wasn't like a major fan like most of you guys are, but I grew up watching it. What I would say is that I'm so, like, I've been watching all these reviews and all these negative reviews, and one of the things that I actually agree with, these some of these people are, they kind of get the OD on it. But what I do agree about is that the way they presented this, like when you saw the trailers for it, people were very excited because they presented it like it was going to be about He-Man. And then bam, they did a bait and switch and made it all about Tila and her craziness and her nasty ways, and no one liked her, the way she behaved, and no one liked her as a character. So the guy, I mean, I know he's on online and talking about the fans are toxic and all this shit. That's, one of the things I hate about these people is like they always attack the fans. Why are you attacking the fans? The fans are the people who keep you guys, who's gonna make you the money. Stop attacking the fans. You
well,
promised the fans that you would give them something that they could appreciate. They don't appreciate it. Stop attacking them. I hate when these people do this. It's one of the things that pisses me off about these these people who are taking over things there's already a source material for them, and then they try to take it over and do a spin on it, and the fans don't like it and they get mad. You just stop, just create your own things, because do be creative and stop messing up people's childhood. Like I've said this on several panels, I hate it that they're messing up people's childhoods with these new shows, because they're just ruining it.
Yeah, they talk about diversity and inclusion, and you said something that was very real. These people need to learn how to make their own shit instead of taking already established characters and trying to change them up just to appease a crowd that won't fucking watch it anyway. It's happen.
Right.
It happened in comic books.
These are,
It,
you trying to, they already have a fan base. Just appease the fan base. Listen, it is what it is. People like this. They like certain things that's formulaic. Okay, make it formulaic. If you want to be deep and da da da, create something different and be your deep and do your other things. Now, like I said, some of the things was good. Some of the action, because I at first I was, like said, I wasn't gonna watch it, but I did watch it. Some of the action sequence, the way it was done, the animation was done very well. I have to give them credit for that. But the story was, I didn't like the story. I didn't like her. She looked crazy. She didn't even look pretty. Like come on, you made her look so hard and tough and
yeah,
the
this is what
ugly
I
hair
yeah,
and
and this
nah.
is I was watching a review, and this is from a female. I was watching a review. She was saying that it's insulting to try to make people believe that in order for a female to become a hero, you have to take the femininity away from her.
Right, and ugly her up. Like why you like she was already. Listen, if you didn't want her to be so like sexualized, fine. Draw her a little bit more. You calm down,
No,
calm it down.
but
But you didn't have
nobody
to go
thought
so
about that
crazy
shit.
with it.
Nobody thought about that shit when the original cartoon came out.
No, nobody care. Like kids as kids, they like the story. They like He Man, and they liked it. But then they made her like her face, her jawline, also her jawline. Why her jawline looks so tough? And I don't know. Like I said, I hated. I'm sorry, I hated it. I know some people liked it, but I hated it, and I
I mean, I could deal, I could manage it without really just starting to really think about the things that are wrong with it. Yes, it does disrespect the way the characters are supposed to be portrayed. I get where they were going with it. It wasn't completely bad, but they made Tila dumb as fuck. It's just there's no way around it. They made her dumb as fuck. Like, if somebody dies saving the universe, you can't get in your feelings because you didn't know their secret. He was trying to protect you, and that's just the whole thing about it. It was that dumb. It became about her feelings, blah blah blah, and just it was just I don't get it. You're making people hate this shit. It's like all this inclusion and it is what it is. I can't wait to see what they do with the second half of it, just to see if they try to actually make her into the central protagonist, which will ruin the entire thing anyway.
well, they said they're gonna bring back He Man, and they're gonna bring back Oracle. They're gonna bring it back, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Like I really don't want to support it, but then I'm already
I mean,
invested,
but
so I'm gonna
yeah,
support it.
yeah, it's like I don't. Uh, like I said, I didn't completely dislike it. I just had to see the second half.
Nah, I'll go watch it. Like I said, I
But
wasn't gonna go.
but like I'll tell you what though, they do this stupid shit like just like the Last Jedi. That was really dumb. And I don't know if you've seen that new Mortal Kombat cartoon, but they kind of did that to Sonya Blade. Tried
I
to
didn't
make
see the cartoon, but I did see the movie.
oh the movie
I,
was the movie
I
was
like the
awful.
movie, and
Yeah,
I know people are hating on Snake Eyes, but I like Snake Eyes because I felt like it was kind of like, even though they changed well, we don't know, we didn't know who he was in the cartoon. I mean, now they said they had a white guy playing him in the movies, but we didn't know who he was in the cartoon. So did they really race swap him? I mean, I didn't remember him being um any race as a kid, but I don't know GI Joe like that. So I actually like the movie, and I like that I like the action. I mean, I liked it. It was
Well,
simple, and I liked it. I don't
I
know.
think the problem with Snake Eyes is that in the original source material, Snake Eyes never talked or showed his face. Yeah,
Right.
which was when I was looking at the commercials, it was kind of strange for me looking at it because it was like, what is Snake Eyes actually showing his face?
Yeah, so it's for me, like you know how people get mad when they race swap and do all these things. For me, we didn't know his race, so if they put him
No,
as
they didn't know Snake
Asian,
Eyes race. No,
that he was white in the original or what?
no, you didn't know anything about Snake Eyes at
Right.
all.
So they this is an origin story, so they made him Asian. So nothing was wrong with that. I like that. I like Henry. I think he did a great job as Snake Eyes. I liked it. So I mean, people were hating on it. Most fans were, but I personally liked it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have to go with the norms or what everyone
Nah,
thinks. I
I
mean, you
I
are
felt like the story was
more than
good.
welcome to have
Yeah.
your own opinion.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like I felt like the story was good. It was good. It was on brand. One or two of the GI Joe showed up. The story made sense. It was good action. Simple movie. I wasn't expecting no freaking complicated story. I was expecting something that you could follow and made sense, and it made sense to me. So
Yeah, that's all that I think that we're asking. If you tell any story that the story makes sense and that it is definitely entertaining. That one thing that I just don't I don't get is when they try to push an agenda.
and I didn't feel like they had an agenda in that movie. Like I mean, they made the females do like a little female, rah 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 moment, but it wasn't really like that. Most of the movie was the were male characters. It was a male centered story. Like you know what I mean? They interjected the females in here and there, but it wasn't really. They didn't diminish him. You know what I mean? They didn't put him down or anything like that. So I felt like it was a good story. I didn't think it was a feminist whatever thing, what they all SJW thing that they always do with these movies. I didn't feel like it was like that, in my opinion. I mean, um, all right. So okay, thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Okay, you too,
All
Kareem.
right. Bye.
Thanks for coming up and expressing how you feel about woke culture and how that bullshit needs to stop as well. But the whole letter thing, yeah, that's disturbing. And when I first read the letter a few years ago, and I was just blown away by how much we could actually relate these behaviors that we see today to those to that letter itself. So thanks for sharing your thoughts as
All
always.
right. Bye.
All right, bye bye. All right. All right. Well, looks like that. Probably go ahead and give my final statement. I did drop the link in the chat. If anybody wants to come up to say anything, that'll be fine. But outside of that, my final statement begins right now. Look, guys. I'm at the point to where it's almost as if, and I gotta tell you guys, one of my reasons for stepping on this platform in the first place was the one-sided bullshit that I always saw against that was being said against black men and how it was definitely having its negative impact. And many people feel like that it's not a big deal, that we as black men should be able to be steel chested enough to take it. But it's a ongoing thing, and it's getting to the point where a lot of brothers are starting to accept it as well. So I'm not the spokesperson for black men, but I can speak somewhat on behalf. And I can tell you this: it's like it's all kinds of shit right now that's going on in the YouTube spaces. Whether it's hatred for black men, criticisms for black women, is dividing us all. And when I look at you know manuscripts, writings such as the Willie Lynch Letter, and I match it up to what I'm seeing, it's bizarre and is very, very disturbing. And is how can we fall for being anyone's experiment? How can we fall for being anyone's guinea pig, letting them fuck with our minds? And if you really think about it, they use these kinds of techniques in TV today to spread propaganda. I mean, they say that they want you to accept each other's differences, but they use your differences against you. They're always able to slip it in like that. I just want our people to be able to be smart enough to get past it, to see it coming. Because we have enough sources of information to make us aware to the point where if we fall for it anymore, then it'll just be our fault. Sad facts, but hey, you know what? When you have all these sources of information feeding you this stuff, then you're presented with opportunities to do something about it. Maybe one day this feeling of pessimism or this feeling of I can't do anything about this black man hate that's going on and running rampant, maybe this feeling, maybe I'll start feeling better about it. It's I can be the one to admit that it is a vulnerability in my emotional palate and it's starting to get to me. But before I kick the bucket, I will see this problem solved. And I know that sounds a little crazy and a little far reaching and a little bit too optimistic, but I believe that somewhere, some kind of way, common sense does exist. Uh, we got to stop letting them have victories long after they're dead. But, that's just me. So, anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for tuning in this weekend. You guys have been great always. And I have a good set of shows set up for the next weekend for you guys to be able to tune into. And thanks for sticking by me. Thanks. Seriously. Thanks. All of you guys, thanks for sticking by me. And it definitely is a pleasure coming to you guys. And um, I will continue with this mission very strong. So there it is. This is Kev. This is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. Goodbye.